Why do some telecom companies scale profitability and dominate the 5G space, while others struggle with churn and shrinking margins? The difference could be the visibility into the right key performance indicators. In this video, we will break down the top 15 telecom industry KPIs that every FP&A strategy and product leader must know. So before we dive into the telecom KPIs, let us first quickly understand how the telecom industry operates end to end, because every KPI maps back onto one of these pillars. Telecom companies usually operate across these five major functions. The first part is the network infrastructure and capacity, which includes building towers, fiber lines, spectrum, and 5G networks. KPIs like uptime, capex ratios, 5G coverage, and cost per GB comes from here. The second part is the customer acquisition and activation. This includes some marketing, SIM card activations, KYC onboarding, and retailer incentives. KPIs like CAC or the customer acquisition cost, net ads, and ARPU come from here. The third part is the usage and monetization. Voice minutes, data consumption, enterprise solutions, all drives revenues. KPIs like the average revenue per user, revenue mix, and EBITDA margins comes from here. The fourth part is the customer experience and retention, network quality, call drops, complaint resolution, and service reliability. This drives KPIs like net promoter score, churn, and call drop rate. And finally, the fifth part is the enterprise and corporate solutions, a fast growing, high margin segment, cloud, IoT, cybersecurity, managed services. KPIs like the enterprise revenue growth come from here. Now, telecom KPIs matter because they connect infrastructure decisions with the customer behavior and long term profitability. Okay, now that we understand how a telecom operator works, let us dive into the KPIs that truly determine the telecom company's success. Starting with the king of monetization, average revenue per user, or also known as ARPU. Average revenue per user measures how much revenue each active subscriber generates. ARPU is calculated by taking the total revenues and dividing it by the total subscribers. For FP&A, a higher average revenue per user means better segmentation, pricing, and customer loyalty, which is very critical for long-term profitability. Telecom KPI number two is the churn rate. The churn rate measures how many subscribers leave your network. The churn rate is calculated by taking the subscribers lost, dividing it by the subscribers at the beginning of the period. For FP&A, even a 1% raise in the churn can destroy millions in ARR, which is the single biggest threat to telecom companies' revenue. Next on our list is the telecom KPI number three, which is the subscriber growth rate, also known as the net adds. Net adds measures how fast your subscriber base is growing. Net adds is calculated by subtracting the lost subscribers from the new subscribers. From FP&A point of view, the net adds signal brand competitiveness and marketing momentum, which is a key investor metric. Next up is KPI number four, which is the data consumption per user. This tracks how much mobile data each subscriber uses. For FP&A, higher usage boosts average revenue per user but also increases network load. FP&A uses this for capacity planning and 5G ROI. For KPI number five, we have the revenue mix, which is the mix between the data, voice, and enterprise segments, which shows how revenue is distributed across all of these three segments. For FP&A, growth in enterprise and data improves margins. Declining voice revenues also highlights digital transition risk. Next is the telecom KPI number six, which is the EBITDA margin, the gold standard for telecom profitability. It is calculated by taking the EBITDA and dividing it by the total revenues. For FP&A, EBITDA margin determines the financial health, debt capacity, and pricing flexibility. Next up is telecom KPI number seven, which is the network availability, also known as the uptime percentage. The uptime percentage measures how often the network is operational. It is calculated by taking the available time divided by the total time. For FP&A, downtime increases churn and regulatory penalties. Uptime is directly tied to customer experience. On a quick side note, if you are serious about growing your career in FP&A, then do check out our certified global FP&A professional program. CGFPA is a 6-month accredited certification in FP&A designed to help you become real business partners. If that sounds something you would be interested in, links are in the description. Also, there are a bunch of free resources that you can download on FP&A, including books and free courses. You will find all the links in the description. Moving on to KPI number 8 for telecom industry is the 5G coverage percentage. This measures how much of the population or geography is covered by the 5G network. Tracking 5G rollout helps justify capex, model future revenues, and assess competitive pricing. Next, we have is the telecom KPI number 9, which is capex to sales ratio. This shows how much of your revenues are reinvested back into the network and infrastructure. Capex to sales is calculated by taking the capex cost and dividing it by the total revenues. If the capex to sales ratio is too high, that means you might be burning cash. On the other hand, if it is too low, then it might also mean that you could be falling behind on network quality. Next is telecom KPI number 10, which is customer lifetime value, also known as CLTV. The CLTV measures the long term revenues from each subscriber. CLTV is calculated by multiplying the average revenue per user with the average customer lifespan. For FP&A teams, FPA comparison to CAC tells us whether the acquisition strategies of the telecom company are sustainable or not. Next, let us talk about one of the most important mobile services these days, which is the data. KPI number 11 is the cost per GB delivered, which tracks the operational cost of delivering 1 gigabyte of data. It is a core metric for especially the 4G and the 5G era telecom companies. Lowering the cost per gigabyte usually boosts margin without raising prices. Next, on telecom KPI number 12 is the customer acquisition cost, also known as the CAC. The CAC shows how expensive it is to acquire one new subscriber. CAC is calculated by taking the total actual spends, dividing it by the new subscribers. CAC rising faster than average revenue per user destroys margin, which is a common risk in competitive markets for telecom industry. After looking at the data services, let us now come to the calling service. This brings us to our KPI number 13, which is the average call drop rate. This measures how often the calls get disconnected due to poor network or network failure. Call drop rate is calculated by taking the number of dropped calls and dividing it by the total attempted calls. It is one of the biggest drivers of net promoter score and churn, and regulators usually track this very closely. On number 14, we have the enterprise or the corporate revenue growth. This tracks the growth in the B2B services like cloud, IoT, cybersecurity, and lease lines. Enterprise is a high margin segment and very crucial for diversifying away from low margin consumer markets. Finally, we come to the telecom KPI number 15, which is the net promoter score, also known as the NPS. The NPS measures the customer satisfaction and likelihood for the customers to recommend us. It is calculated by subtracting the percentage of detractors from the percentage of promoters. This is one of the most reliable predictor of churn. Improving NPS usually helps in lifting long-term revenues. So we've looked at the different types of telecom KPIs, including KPIs related to network quality, customer behavior, financial strength, and competitive positioning. FP&A teams bring all of these numbers together to answer questions like, are we growing the business profitability? Is the network strong enough to handle 5G demand? Are churn and CAC under control? Or which segments will drive the future revenue growth for the company? Let us do a quick recap. We started by discussing the revenue and profitability KPIs like the average revenue per user, EBITDA margin, and revenue mix. Then we moved on to some network performance KPIs like the uptime, call drop rate, and 5G coverage percentage. We also talked about the efficiency and cost KPIs like the cost per gigabyte and capex to sales. Finally, we discussed the growth metrics like net adds and enterprise revenue growth. If you track these KPIs consistently, you will build a telecom business that's competitive, scalable, and profitable. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the top 15 telecom company KPIs, do like this video and subscribe to our FP&A channel for more such FP&A videos. Also, let me know in the comments section below which other industry KPIs you would like me to cover in the future videos. Also, don't forget to check out a bunch of free resources like books, courses, and cheat sheets related to FP&A All the links are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.